an ex-soldier that is now gainfully employed in sadistically training women and then selling those said women to richer people. I can't say I've heard of that one before. What's up guys, Funar Lever 47 here, welcome to Watching for the Plot. What I essentially do is troll through the catacombs of the darkest parts of the internet to find animated erotic videos and then criticize them on the internet because no one else wants to hear me talk about it in the real world. But if you do, subscribe for more. Boys! That's it. So we have an unnamed character here, and as you know, I am extremely descriptive and on point when it comes to names. Let's call this guy here, yeah, the one with the hair, sadistic Itachi. Because just like Itachi, his idea of love is completely on another universe, a true psychopath's version of love. That being said, his love revolves around a huge twist at the end which leaves him with a knife in his back and a knife through his heart. Episode 1, sadistic Itachi is teamed up with Dr. Ni. Field of study? Unknown. And they are a small private business that churns out massive profits. How do I know? Well, they're able to implement a system that analyzes the data given to it to determine whether or not subjects they have tortured will be suitable for corrupted political consumption. For example, in its first episode, they are training a woman by the name of Mary, and their goal is to make her climax through pain. So, to pursue that goal, they insert a needle right through her clitoris or her joy button as she's climaxing. Now this session is already showing me many signs of where this could possibly go, but I stuck on for the ride and I was thoroughly impressed, to say the least. I was expecting over-the-top gore like Pigeon Blood or Euphoria, to the point that it just outright disturbs me. But for some reason, some odd dystopian reason, despite all the atrocities that happen in this show, they kept it reasonably mild. Case in point, no blood at all. So Dr. Annie or sadistic Itachi are always the ones that end up doing the training. And just like night shift nurses, any of the previously successful employees, quotes, will be assisting both of them in breaking in newer recruits. So we come to find out that our main character here was an ex-soldier, as I mentioned before, and coincidentally, his next intern so happens to be one of his former running mates. Her name is Hojo, and the client's request? Oh, it's just to make her orgasm through her breast. Talk about a real milky mommy girlfriend, am I right? Jesus Christ, what am I doing? So once he puts in his hard day's work, my man clocked in his 9 to 5 shift, training his former ally. He walks home depressed, rain falling all around him because as you know, in any anime, if there's rain, that means there's depression nearby. Now I wonder why he's depressed. Could it be that he's realizing his wrongdoings and that violating women to this extent at which he is deplorable? Oh? No, it's not? Then what's making this man depressed?
ああ、戦争が終わって平和が戻ったら必ず。
Wait, so this man is in the blues, down in the dumps, and is impotent, as Dr. Aini says, all because he can't find the 5-year-old he met 13 years ago? He's down and out because he can't fuck her? I can't even act shocked here, honestly. I mean, I didn't expect much at all, given his employment, but still. Come on, have a shred of decency. So coincidentally, he so happens to run into that same girl I mentioned earlier, and now he brought her home. Once he brings her home, he wakes up because he has a nightmare. Again, I must stress, not due to the egregious acts he's partaking in. No, it's of talking to the same girl he met 13 years ago, and he's nervous about it. And along the way, while all this is happening, because that's the end of his adventure, Chisato, one of the nurses that were introduced here in the very first scene, has a sister named Kunasaki, and she wanted to get the scoop about this shady place because apparently she's like an amateur journalist, and coincidentally, once she pulls up and sees corruption happening here, she sees her sister getting throttled. While watching that, she decides to have her own quick play events and enjoy the show interactively. And she gets caught, and now she's a part of Dr. Aini's and sadistic Itachi's roster. Why is that important? Episode 2. So here is where the true villainous side of Dr. Aini comes to light, if it hasn't already. The next intern they are training is an idol. Now that's tragic. Imagine grinding hard your whole life, putting in all your work to be number one, to be on the big stage. You make it, and while basking in the limelight in your prime, your manager sells you to these slime balls to get violated and then sold later on. This sounds like it actually happens, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did. After that training session, another hard day's work, Aini and Itachi go to their computers and input all the data about their employees. So far, they're all selling like hotcakes. They have been sold as is already. The computer spits out the data to them. So far, they've completed and are ready to be sold. And the next request comes in from where? Great question. They never address it. Nor does it matter, because I'll tell you later on. The new request is for the same said girl whom Itachi saved twice. Once was when she was 5 years old in the battlefield, picking flowers like here. and twice when she was homeless begging for money in the rain, like here. He sees that request on his desk, immediately denies it, no hesitation at all, and then just goes about his day. You know, he thinks nothing's gonna happen. While Dr. Ani gets the same request, sees that it has been declined before she even gets to see it, and immediately the cogs in her head are spinning. She's already planning on her next 10 moves already, like a professional GM chess player.
再度調教依頼
And what she does with that is, well, so now Dr. Aini has Psycho tied and bound up in the training room. And after finding out that she was a virgin, she decides to accommodate accordingly. She went into the other hole for you innocent people out there. And while this all that was happening, in the middle of that, Itachi goes back to his computer and notices the resubmission / in progress of his cherished girl named Sayako. He's fuming mad. He rushes back into the room, confronts Aini and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" She says, "Oh, why don't you join us?" Then he's drugged by Aini's assistant named Minako, who is also another former patient. And you won't guess what happens next. Well, I mean, you might. It's a hentai. You can already assume what's gonna happen next. So now Minako is exposing sadistic Itachi's true nature, which is that he's not impotent, as Aini mentioned way in the beginning of the first episode. It's that he was saving himself for her, which is really weird. The moment the paralytic was no longer a burden on his body, he immediately goes to her, immediately violates her, and then drops his one-liner here.
最高これから一緒に毎日僕たちの失われた13年間を取り戻そう
Let me ask you something. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when a cop kills someone, gets paid leave, and then everyone's like, okay guys, let's go back to normal, problem solved. It's not. After Psycho stabs him, she says, "I don't care who you are, the man of my dreams or not, you violated me." And then that's the end of the series. Well, fuck sadistic Itachi. I'm sure glad he didn't have a name because he's dead now. Like Ryuji was supposed to be in the OG Night Shift Nurses. Psycho pulled a Ren in every case of the word. So Psycho, congratulations, you win. However, I don't know what happened to her after that, but she did stab him. And now Dr. Aini is a solo proprietor of the training that business. Will she do well? Who the fuck cares? Alright guys, I don't have an outro, but if I did, it wouldn't matter because no one makes this far to the video. Good night.